and this Butch Bartolome in just a minute with the Guru. Another exciting, really superb exciting interview that we will be conducting. Imagine another live interview right from overseas, and to be specific, Jersey, UK. Okay, so today we will be having an interview of a woman who started from seeing what is the need of businesses, and she has a very exciting career, and here she will be telling you how she was able to turn around difficulties into opportunities. See, the sign of a real good entrepreneur. Okay, to give us, let's call in Miss Claire Scott, all the way from Jersey, UK.
Hi Bert, thank you so much for having me. I'm really thrilled to be here, and it's great talking to you after seeing each other, meeting each other a few weeks ago. It's great to be talking to you today.
Hi Claire, how are you? And I just want to find out, how did you ever start the business?
So yes, how did I begin my business? Well, I think, you know, you get into sometimes there's something who comes out of you, and you've got to do it. So about 10 years ago, I was working in hotels. I was running a hotel, and I was getting separated, divorced at the time, and my children were 6 and 10. And I was working silly hours in hotels. I had an au pair looking after my children, and everything was kind of going into too much, and I couldn't continue like that. And I thought, you know, I can't do that for the rest of my life. Something's going to have to give in, and potentially it'll be me, you know, as a person who will actually, you know, fall sick, and how can I look after my children and all that kind of things. And I had that moment, and I thought, I've got to stop, and I did. So I left the job, I sold the house, and I realized that there was a gap in the market in Jersey for mystery shopping. No one was actually measuring the customer service locally, so the businesses didn't know where they really were in terms of, you know, how good or how bad they were. So that's what I did. I kind of, you know, got started completely from fresh, and I think that was the best decision I've ever made in my life. And that was 10 years ago. Yes, 10 years ago, 2009. And at the time, you know, it was a recession. People were saying, Claire, don't do it, it's the wrong time, just wait, you know, no one will want to, you know, take your services. And I was like, well, but if people don't train their employees and don't look after their customers whilst it's a recession, what are they going to be like after? You know, there'll be no business left after the recession if they don't look after their customers and their employees right now whilst it's difficult time. So things have moved on in 10 years, but that's how it all kicked in.
You know, when you came here to the Philippines, and I was given this business card, or what we Filipinos call as calling card. Now I was struck by two things. One, it says there's super busy queen. B queen, is that right? No, I mean the busy queen bee. Okay. And the other one says they're inspiring businesses to thrive. Exactly, please help us understand what those are meant.
Yes, I know, the busy queen bee, right? It all started a little bit of a joke, I've got to say, but, you know, at the beginning, you know, the business, I had mystery shoppers, so they were, you know, I was, you know, kind of saying they were my little worker bees, and they were going out to shops and restaurants, and they were going out to do those visits, and they were coming back to the hive to me and bringing me all the results so we could actually analyze it and consult and advise our customers on what would be the best way for them to improve, and celebrate, you know, if things were going right. So it was kind of a bit of a joke, and I started doing a bit of research, And I thought, actually, this is just, it's perfect. I am the queen bee. And I love the analogy. I love the bees. I love how they work. And I fell into a book, and it was a beekeeper who was talking about the analogy between the bees and the businesses. And that was it. It was a big, moment for me in thinking, this is exactly what I want to try to do. Not only, like the bees, they are there and they are, essential for the community, and they help, the nature, they help the ecosystem, and without bees, you couldn't really do anything. There'll be, no nature left, really, if you really think about it. So for me, it was like, helping businesses to deliver exceptional customer experience meant that, they would have employees feeling better, they would have the businesses would be thriving, and eventually, ultimately the economy will be thriving as well. So I met a beekeeper, and she'd said to me, oh, you don't want to be a queen bee. The queen bees are just lay there and they just lay eggs all day. And I thought, okay, well, I'm a bit of a busy girl, so I don't think I could be, just seen as just a queen bee. And that's where the busy queen bee arrived. And that's how the kind of brand started. And we created the little logo, my little avatar, and I love her. We put different things on her. We put a summer hat and a bikini. In August, we'll have her holding a basket of Easter eggs. At Easter, we'll have her, with flowers in the summer. And so she's just really kind of, she is becoming me, or me, her. I'm not sure which one, but... And it is, you mentioned us also on the card, is inspiring businesses to thrive. This is what we all aim for. This is why we're all in businesses for. It's like the spiral. You want to evolve, you want to develop, you want to progress, you want to have a thriving business. And sometimes it's really hard when you are in the business, because you are so operational and you are trying to I've got all those hats on, and you're trying to do so many things that you forget what the big vision is all about. So having somebody like me, for example, there's others who are doing that, but it really is about inspiring, the leaders in the companies to really kind of inspire their employees, and, create that real good culture within their companies, where employees will feel happy, and ultimately their customers will be happy, and ultimately their business will thrive. So this is what it's all about, inspiring businesses to thrive. That really is what I want to do. And by bringing more care into their businesses, that's probably the next stage now where I am. It is about inspiring businesses to thrive by bringing more care. If we care about our employees, if we care about our environment, if we care about our customers, we're really creating something magical there, really something smashing that people can have and feel good and want to stay there. And actually, it's that caring service culture that you're creating and nurturing. So that's what it's all about.
You visited us recently. It's about a couple of months ago. See how time flies. What have you noticed in terms of customer service? Are there tips that you can share with us, with our viewers here, among entrepreneurs?
I think I've fallen in love again. I mean, I've just written a blog about this. I've just come back from the Philippines, from Manila, from your city, a couple of weeks ago, and it was my first time. So I live in Jersey, which is a little island with 100,000 people, and I arrive in Manila, which is again another island, but with 10 million people. So a little difference between one and the other, and I loved it. I mean, I loved the hustle and bustle. I love the energy. I love the people. I met so many people. It was incredible. I love the energy of Entrepreneur. Everybody seems to have some ideas and want to impress and want to improve and want to do things and have, 3, 4, 5 different businesses, and it's just amazing. So it really kind of got me buzzed up, as you can tell. So it was really amazing to see how people in Entrepreneur have vision to improve, and talking, because I was there as well, and I did a talk at the Franchise Asia at the conference on customer experience and branding, and I've talked to a lot of franchisors out there. I've talked to a lot of entrepreneur in the different networking events that I went to, and I think, you know, there is people, again, it comes back to people in their businesses are quite busy in the operation side of it, and sometimes you kind of forget those little basics in terms of your customer's experience, in terms of your employees' experience. I mean, you know, and this is quite crucial. You know, you can't have a business if you don't look after first your employees, second your customers. You know, if you have an engaged workforce, if you have a valued workforce, they'll be loyal, they will want to stay with you. So really, those steps and those areas can really be improved by really looking at the strategies that you have in your business for your employees' experience. And then you can look at your strategy in terms of your customer experience. So what are you delivering at the moment? What can you improve? Is it, you know, the customer experience? Is it the touch point? Is it the journey? Is it connecting with your customers at an emotional level? So I think there's opportunities to actually come and help entrepreneurs and come and help businesses to look at those areas and look at their culture as a whole, and how can they improve those areas to have a much stronger workforce who feel valued. You know, there's thousands of people, you know, working in Manila, thousands of employees potentially. So how can you really look after your employees so well and train them so well so that they don't want to go anywhere else, and then they can give that amazing service because they'll feel good, they'll want to perform, they'll want to, you know, they're inspired by your business. So this is the kind of things that it'd be really cool to be able to improve, you know, in the Manila businesses.
What services does BC Queen really do? Tell us what kind of services that you do, which I'm sure some people might want to be able to get you and help them out.
Well, yeah, I mean, what kind of services do I provide for Contrapreneur? Well, there's all sorts. Anything to do with customer experience, anything to do with employees' experience, how to create a real good culture, how to really look after the environment. So the environment is a big part of, you know, really looking after your employees. So if your culture is your why, is your, you know, why do you do that? Your vision, your mission, you know, those kind of things have to be very clear. So once you've got those elements very clear, you'll be able to then, you know, take your customers and your employees into that journey and really kind of drive the culture of your business. So, you know, the kind of services we can do is helping with the culture and really defining this. We can help with the environment. You know, a healthy, happy environment will have happy, healthy employees. Less sick days, more performance, anything like that will be absolutely amazing. So looking at the environment and how the environment affects people is a really important part of it. And then obviously, big part is your employees' experience. You know, what are the strategies? What do you have in place? How much do you train your staff? What are your plannings? What are your staff turnover? What are your KPIs? Putting all those things in place to actually ensure that they are delivering those amazing experiences to your customers. So then you look at your customers, and we look at, you know, things like the customer experience, the emotional connections. How can you create those emotions at different touch points? We can look at complaint handling or feedback handling. You know, again, those are really important to have in place. You know, you want to be proactive in terms of training your staff to really have those tools so they can manage situations so they doesn't become a complaint. You know, we can look at the different areas and the different training that they would need to really kind of put that in place. I also help with developing customer experience guidelines, employees training strategies. I've got a starter box, which I thought was quite amazing because I'm also a franchisor myself. I've created all those guidelines, and I've created all those amazing work for my franchisees. And I thought, actually, one day I thought, actually, I've got all those strategies, all those documents, all those business plans, templates, financials, invoices, templates, all those things that are just really, really cool. But not everybody want to do, mystery shopping and customer experience like me as my, my franchise offers. So I thought, if I actually remove the element of the service out of all of that, it's a starter box. So it is for entrepreneur. It is an amazing tool which really kind of gives you 150 documents, all sorts of templates, strategies, ideas, whether it's on marketing, whether it's employees, whether it's customers, to start your business. So, it's a really amazing kind of, a starter box that I created, and I love it. I love the whole feel about it. I use it. I've got my little toolbox and everything when I do promotion about it. It's a really good way to actually say, here you go. You want a business. This is how you start. Do you want to save 2 years in starting up? Well, this is what you can do to actually do that. Just open up the box and starts, yourself and starts thriving rather than spending time, developing all those documents and all those strategies. So yes, those are the kind of things that I can help entrepreneurs with. Definitely, there's opportunities out there that I'd love to be able to help more, really.
Training is so important, and not many entrepreneurs understand the value of training people. Some people would say, "Oh, training. What's the use for?" What's your opinion about this?
Oh yes, I mean, I can't actually say enough time. Train, and train again. Richard Branson says, train your staff, your employees well enough so they can actually leave. Treat them well enough so they won't actually want to. And that's what it's all about. I've had so many people, so many questions comes back and say, well, my employees are only here for a couple of months. I don't really want to spend any money or time to train them. And I'm like, what? Why are you employing them in the first place if you're not training them? How are they going to sell your product? How are they going to perform? How are they going to do anything? Just don't employ them if you're not going to train them. What is it's all about? So whether they're here for a week, 2 weeks, 3 months, a year, forever, you need to train your staff. You need to give them the tools to do what you expect, otherwise they'll never perform. So it's really important to actually have a really strong training strategy. So not just a 3 hours training, which is great, it's a great start, but looking at over it for the whole year. What can you do in place? What can you have? Can you have some online course? Can you do some, short burst sessions? Can you really kind of have some longer sessions? Can you ask your employees what they want? What knowledge do they need? What are they missing to actually do their job? And this is a big part of, of having a thriving business and really caring for your employees. It's about asking them, what do you want from me? How can I help you do your job better? Not only they'll feel valued because you actually ask them their opinion, but if you're giving them the training, hallelujah, they will actually be, they'll be like, wow, this is amazing. I love this company. Every time I need something, they'll help me develop. And it's the same as the spiral we were talking earlier, whether it's the spiral for a business or an employees. You can't stay stagnant. You want to progress. You want to develop. You want to improve. So as a business, it's all about nurturing and evolving your employees so they can develop, they can bring new ideas. empowering them to be able to do that. So, training is a very, very big part of it. So really kind of, and any valuable tips, yes, of course. So look at your training, and a lot of people call it soft skills training. I hate that word. Soft skill. It's essential training. It's not soft. It's essential. And for some people it comes very naturally. That kind of connections and building rapport. For others, it isn't. So really kind of take the time to bring those kind of skills. So rapport building skills. How to make a connection, whether it's with employees or whether it's with your internal or your external customers. Really teach them how does it feel, why, how. Empathy, is a big word, and it's so important that your employees are able to empathize with your customers. They're able to empathize with their team, so we can bring some more compassion, receptiveness, openness, in actually doing more, for the company. So those kind of things are really important when you're looking at your training, not just about, the technology, training, but about how they feel, so, use the emotional connections. Remember that, it's all about emotions, whether it's an employee or whether it's customer. But how can you really create better rapport? How can you make people feel more confident? All those kind of skills are really, really important. And you will see your employee blossom. This is magical. When they feel more confident, when they start connecting, when they start talking, and shaking hands and being very much more comfortable in their do, you will see them blossom and you will see them perform in so many more ways. Yes, so those are my tips. And, I think for a business, there's kind of 4 areas to look at. Okay, you need to assess first. Look at what's going on in that area of your business. Assess it. Then you need to develop, whether it's develop a new strategy, develop new plan, new standards. Then you train your staff and you implement it, and then you measure it. So the final 4. So once you train people, measure what's happening. So what's working and what's not working and what you need to improve again. So assess, develop, train, and measure. Those are my kind of final 4 tips for you. So thank you very much, Butts. It was a real pleasure to see you. Thank you for having me on your show. And if anybody's got any questions, just, you know where I am. Just, I'd love to connect on Facebook or LinkedIn. I'm on, all the social media. Absolutely. You'll find me on all the social media. And then you can check out the website claireboscott.com if you want more details. But it was yes, thank you so much. I love speaking to you, and I'm looking forward. I'm already planning my new trip to Manila in August. So let's see what's happening. If anybody else wants to connect, I'd love to meet them whilst I'm out there, or before, obviously. All right, thank you so much, Bats. Thank you, and speak to you very soon. Bye for now.
Well, there you are. You saw what Claire shared with us. A lot of valuable tips. I'm sure you will be replaying and replaying this video. And but one thing that really struck me is the importance of customer service, the rapport that we establish with the customers. Because after all, the customers are the ones paying our livelihood, no? And if we don't pay attention and we just serve whatever is there to be served without any touch, then it's no use. I mean, nowadays people are so sensitive. I mean, you may serve the best food, but your people are kind of difficult to grasp, or no customer service at all. Then what's the point? And one thing that also struck me was how Claire was able to touch a lot of entrepreneurs through mystery shopping. Mystery shopping? Oh, don't just say, that's easy. No, it's rather a scientific approach, and yet it gives you the direction that your business should have. Well, there goes another portion of our Just a Minute with the Guru and how to become an entrepreneur. I hope you will listen and watch the next series. And again, I'd like to thank everybody for reaching this 1,200 subscribers. And really, I'm so happy that in a few months, we were able to help a lot of entrepreneurs. Pass the word around. You may want to subscribe at youtube.com at Franchise Consultants, right there. Or visit my page, Boots Olivares Bartolome. That's my Facebook profile. Keep in touch, learn, and really let's do it.